This is Laura Cross of Rebel Seed Films and Entertainment with a podcast from the archives. This Film Insights episode was originally released in February 2014. Today's guest expert is Jamie Wilkinson. Jamie is currently the co-founder and CEO of VHX. VHX is a direct-to-fan distribution platform built for premium videos that empowers artists to sell their work from their own websites directly to their audience. Everything that used to be sold on DVD can be sold on VHX. VHX believes artists should make more money from their work and has helped creators sell their films, documentaries, stand-up specials, live concert footage, lectures, web series, and more. Jamie is interested in internet culture, viral media, community development, and funny videos. And today Jamie is going to share tips and insights on using the VHX platform to cultivate a group of fans eager to buy your content, give your fans what they want, and connect directly with your audience, build a meaningful relationship with your customers, sell your film directly to your audience online, build your own marketing power, create proof of market viability, use web traffic analysis to make better informed decisions about your distribution strategy, and bundle content to increase revenue.
Hey, Jamie, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm very happy to be here.
So, Jamie, I know you have this really interesting dossier, so to speak. So before we jump into how VHX helps filmmakers distribute their work, I really have to ask you about a few of your past coups and experiences. Is that cool?
Hopefully nothing too embarrassing.
I don't think so. So first, I know that you won a Primetime Emmy, and it was an Outstanding Achievement in Interactive Media Emmy for your work on Star Wars Uncut. And we have to hear this story. Please do tell us about Star Wars Uncut and how you ended up being awarded with an Emmy.
Yeah, sure. It's a great, fun project. It was started by Casey Pugh in 2008, I think. And I remember him pitching me the idea over brunch one day and saying, I really want to have people help recreate Star Wars, but it's too much work to make the whole movie, so I want to chop the movie up into 15-second pieces and then ask people to make it 15 seconds at a time. And when he made the first prototype of it and kind of put it up on the web, and I helped out with a lot of the development and strategic planning around the project, where it really just exploded super quickly. When you're adding Star Wars is kind of a good way of getting people to pay attention to your project. And
that's
fan
good branding there.
Yeah, it's that's a trick we always use is just add Star Wars. And yeah, people responded super well to it. They volunteered, collected scenes, kind of shot it at home. They did Legos and animation and live action with their kids and live action with their pets. And some of them are kind of the most incredibly well-produced scenes you've ever seen in your life, and you can't believe that they did all this work just for 15 seconds. And some of it is kind of like made on my iPhone. It clearly took you about 15 seconds to make this 15-second clip. And that's really the magic of it, is it's a collaborative project. And then on the site, we sequenced all of it together, and there's an interactive player on the site where you could watch all the scenes in sequence. And each of the scenes had multiple versions, so you could kind of switch in between them and watch different variations of the same movie in a lot of ways. And that is actually what led us to be introduced to the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, where someone told us one day, they're like, hey, this is applicable for this award, this Serious Studio Award. And we just said, get out of town. There's no way we could possibly ever win an Emmy. And we kind of put together a pitch video for it and submitted it and paid the entry fee. And we were going up against Dexter and other kind of major studio content. And we're super humbled to have won the prize.
Wow, what an achievement. Now, I also read that while you were working at Rocket Boom in New York City from 2005 to 2010, you helped create the Know Your Meme video series and internet culture database, and then you sold that site to Cheeseburger in 2010. So it sounds like you're a bit of a serial entrepreneur in a good way. What is the Know Your Meme video series, and what did you discover or learn from that experience?
Know Your Meme. It's a document.
It's called Meme,
sorry.
not Meme?
Yeah, Know Your Meme. Yeah.
Thank you for correcting my pronunciation.
No problem. No problem. It's a kind of a database and a web video series dedicated to documenting internet culture and viral videos and sort of studying how and why things become popular online. And that actually started as just filler content. And again, it's kind of just like a passion project in a lot of ways. At Rocket Boom, we made web video, and it was always timely and about news. And we made Know Your Meme originally as sort of filler content for the Christmas break. And it really resonated with the audience. We kind of dressed up in lab coats, and we picked out some of our favorite viral videos and sort of talked about the history and where it came from and how it evolved and how the fans picked up on it and remixed it. In a way that's really similar to what we did with Star Wars Uncut. You could write a Know Your Meme entry or create an episode around Star Wars and sort of the evolution from a movie made in the 1970s that evolved through sequels and remakes and remixes, and here's fan content around it. Here's the controversies around it. And so Know Your Meme was a site that I put together in 2009, knowyourmeme.com, where it was kind of an open database where anybody could submit an entry about a meme that they thought was interesting, kind of like a bit of culture that they thought was notable on the web for whatever reason. And you can kind of document it and upload images and videos, and it became kind of a canonical reference point for looking up information about viral things online. And the point we always tried to take was kind of being objective and in a way that's very similar to Wikipedia. But the difference, and even the origin of the site, was the fact that people kept, on Wikipedia, I would write articles about these minor internet memes, but they would get deleted. They would get deleted for not being notable enough. And so I said, I'll just go make my own website.
Good solution. So how did you end up selling the site to Cheeseburger?
Yeah, it was, it's a good alignment of interest that Cheeseburger really runs so many different blogs based around kind of similar kinds of content. They're sort of interested in getting closer to the metal with it. And I had moved on from Rocket Boom, and a number of the other staff had as well. And so the project was sort of needed a caretaker. And Ben-Ha and Cheeseburger really stepped up and made an offer for it, which is really fantastic. And they're doing a great job with it today. They kept on a lot of the staff, a lot of the writing staff, and they're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. And also, in going back a little bit, in 2007 and 2008, you taught the Internet Famous class in Parsons Design and Technology graduate program, where your grade is a function of your online popularity. So what's that all about?
Yeah, it's all the same kind of thing, I guess. It's, I'm very interested in sort of how and why things become popular. And the point of that class I did with two artists named Evan Roth and James Powderly, we all taught it together, was to encourage art students to produce more work and publish more online. And instead of sort of focusing on creating like 2 masterpieces every year, the internet really demands that you publish as much as humanly possible and you push things out as fast as humanly possible. And so tying somebody's grade to the performance of all that content was really the fastest way to encourage it. It was great. We saw a lot of really interesting experiments. I think it provided a space for people to step out of their normal artistic production and create kind of just like, junk for the web, the stuff that doesn't seem very artistic and serious, but always really resonates with a web audience.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about VHX. What does VHX do?
VHX is a platform for distributing premium video content like film and television from your own website directly to your fans.
And some pretty cool people have used VHX to sell their work directly to fans, like Dave Grohl, Shane Carruth, and Ira Glass. I also read that the companies work closely with companies such as Draft House Films, Sundance Institute, the Kickstarter Film Festival, and Vice Media. What are some of the releases that you've helped launch and projects that you've been involved in?
Those are some of the more high-profile projects we've launched. We've been blessed to kind of help almost 200 different projects publish their work from their own sites so far, and it's everything from sort of high, like Sundance award-winning content like Indie Game the Movie and Sound City, and This American Life's live special, and Upstream Color, and we're working now on like The Act of Killing with Draft House and Vice. And but what I find really more exciting, and even talking about Internet Famous Class and Know Your Meme, is always sort of like these small gems, these sort of undiscovered little underdogs of the Internet, and that's we have so many really great like short narrative films. A movie called Skull World, which is about people who dress up in cardboard armor and battle each other, and they love heavy metal, and it's just really fascinating. And another documentary called American Weightlifting, which is literally about weightlifting, and so many kind of projects that without the internet they might not see the light of day. A distributor might not pick this up if they consider this something like this unmarketable. But the internet time and time again shows that there are people out there who are just like you, who are into the same things as you are. And people these days especially are very happy to kind of vote with their wallets. So if you're going to invest the time and money and energy into creating a cohesive, great piece of work like a film, like it can be a short, it can be a web series, it can be like a lecture series you do, it can be a feature film, it can be a documentary, you should distribute it online and sell it to your fans, and you should be able to dictate the terms of how that works. And that's really the dream of VHX.
Yeah, what a great resource and a great opportunity for filmmakers right now. So let's talk just a little bit about the logistics. How exactly do filmmakers using your platform distribute their movies and content online directly to their audience?
Yeah, we compare it a lot to Tumblr. Sometimes we call it like Tumblr for premium video content, in that you sort of sign up and you can pick a theme, a base theme, and then customize all of the images and the colors and the text. And there's an advanced HTML editor, so you can kind of dive under the hood and really customize things as far and as deeply as you want. And then every site has kind of the same core functionality, like a mailing list sign up, a trailer that you can watch. You can sell pre-orders, and then you can kind of, when your movie is ready to sell, or your TV series, or whatever you are selling, you can just list the price. You set the price, whatever you want. We very often end up doing kind of standard editions as well as deluxe editions, which includes like behind the scenes and extra footage and director's commentary. And the platform supports subtitles and everything that we've come to expect. And we make it really easy for people to pay with PayPal or their credit card, and then they're thrown immediately into kind of an instant watching experience that's we kind of consider Netflix like a gold standard, and our player meets or exceeds that level of quality. And so it's a really wonderful experience, and then people can download the files to watch offline or put on their various devices. And then we turn around and give all this information about the customers right back to the filmmakers. When they log into their VHX dashboard, they can see real-time stats about what's selling and where the traffic is coming from, what countries are converting, and they get the email addresses of everybody who is purchasing from them, so that they can kind of use our newsletter tool to send them updates, and maybe you add things to your packages and you want to keep them updated.
That is so valuable, having the contact information for your audience, for the people who are buying your stuff. So let me just, because we're speeding through this really quickly, let me just go back. So every film has kind of their own little mini site that's hosted by VHX. Is that what I'm hearing, or is it actually going through their site?
Yeah, no, the idea is really that you can turn your website into your own store and sell directly, and you can do it on more favorable terms and with more information about your customers.
Great. And then, so are you collecting the money, or they're collecting the money through the site? I'm just a little...
Yeah, so our platform kind of handles all of that heavy lifting of the payments and the video serving and kind of keeping everything up and running quickly. And the idea is that the filmmaker, like AzizAnsari.com or IndieGameTheMovie.com, it's unique. It's their website. You're visiting the filmmaker's website. It's in their voice, and it's just powered by VHX behind the scenes.
Okay, very cool. Okay, I got it. So they're not being directed to somebody else's site.
And that's exactly it. Yeah, they're not being directed to somebody else's store. You're buying directly from the artist. It's their store. And you can still put your content in other people's stores like iTunes and on Amazon and on Hulu and Netflix and anywhere else you want. We work on like a totally non-exclusive basis. But the idea is that really the power of the internet is the ability for artists to run their own store and sell directly to the fans, however they want to do it.
Yeah. Now, what devices, because you mentioned that this could go out to all the customers' devices, what devices will the films play on?
Yeah, so our sites and our streaming player work on the desktop as well as on mobile and tablet devices in the browser. And then every purchase you make on VHX, you can download just normal video files. There's no crazy DRM. And people use that to kind of put it on, stream it to their Xbox or PS3s or put it on their iPads for the plane or anything like that.
Okay, so basically anywhere.
Pretty much anywhere, yeah. And then we're working on apps for specific devices as well that sort of allow people to aggregate the content together. So to be, for instance, like a VHX app on iOS for your iPad or for your Roku, which would allow you to kind of access all the different content that you bought from different VHX stores in one place. Mm-hmm. And then that would kind of make like an easy home for all this stuff to get into those devices without having to transfer any files around.
Right. Now, and for customers finding the films, is everything hosted on VHX as well? So, like as a customer, as a film lover, I can go to VHX and there's curated films there so I can find out about these new ones. I don't have to already know about a film and go to that filmmaker's website.
You know, it's a lot less about us being a marketplace and us being a store and a curator as it is about enabling each filmmaker to really do their own marketing for their own content. And so we don't do any marketing behind these projects. And we do have plans to have kind of a central destination where we do surface content that your friends are watching or that's recommended by the staff. But really the idea is that you have a place that's yours that you can direct people towards and really own that experience and own the relationship with the customer.
Perfect. So it sounds like then the filmmaker retains the rights. So they're not owned at all by VHX. We
don't do anything yet, and the platform is free to sign up and free to use. We just take a cut of revenue, and it's you can terminate at any time. And so if you you sell your movie to the Weinstein Company, and they say, oh, you got to take down this website, you just turn it off right then.
Okay. So there's no upfront costs, really, or are there any upfront costs to get started?
No upfront costs, yeah. And then even actually people can go sign up right now. We're in kind of like an early beta period, but we're sending out invites all the time.
Great. Now, let me ask you, when do filmmakers come to you? Is it like after they've done a self-distributed theatrical release, or are these producers who are maybe leveraging press from a festival run and they want to make the film available online for sale at the same time, if they're not planning a theatrical release? Or are you seeing these are content creators who are making their films available exclusively online? It was always their intention to release online.
Oh, this is a great question. We see both of those, as well as we also see a lot of people who, and this is what we like the most, is people signing up very, very early in the film's life cycle, like in the pre-production phase, where they're just starting to think about the brand of their film and about building their audience, because a VHX site can be really useful even if you're not selling yet. You can collect email addresses for your mailing list. You can have people watch a trailer. Even if you don't have a trailer cut yet, they can, there's still some art or the name of the title or list of cast and crew and the people involved, and they can sort of subscribe to updates about the project. And then even later on in the cycle of the film, we have kind of a press screeners feature where if you're sending out theatrical screeners, instead of kind of using a password-protected link or like a Dropbox link that is super, super easy to share, we have a feature where you can kind of just type in somebody's email address and then say 2 days, 3 days, 3 hours, whatever, however long you want them to watch it, and they get kind of an exploding secure link that's watermarked with their email address.
That's great.
And so we really think that this audience building thing is something that should happen super, super early, and it applies if you're going to festivals. It applies if you're planning to distribute exclusively online. It becomes an asset. Having like a mailing list like this and having like even pre-sales are really powerful, because you're able to go to Sundance. This is what Indie Game the Movie did, was they went to Sundance, and they had done 2 Kickstarters, and they had been pre-selling on their site. And so by the time they got to Sundance, they already had a significant audience base, and like they had voted with their wallets that they wanted to see this movie, and they were really excited about this movie. And so they won the Best Editing Award at Sundance, and they were kind of like a huge crowd favorite, and people loved the movie. It was a fantastic movie. And they were getting offers from distributors, but they were able to compare apples and oranges, or, apples to apples, these offers from distributors with the money that they had gotten from their audience already, and sort of what they expected that to continue looking like as they moved on. So they were able to.
Because they had already cultivated that audience and that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, so they opted on passing on all the distribution deals because the distributors were telling them, oh, yeah, we'll be able to put out your movie in like a year or 2 years, and we'll do, the traditional windowing process, whereas they were more interested in getting it to fans quickly and doing it on their own terms. And so they actually organized their own theatrical tour. And then they distributed it day and date worldwide. And they're Canadian, too, so I think that they also, part of that distribution conversation was probably like, are you going to be distributing it in North America, all of North America, just in the U.S., just in Canada? And they knew already from their web traffic and from their Kickstarters that they had a huge international audience. So they didn't want people to have to get it off of the Pirate Bay. They wanted it to be available worldwide simultaneously.
Yeah. So those are some great tools that you provide really to help filmmakers build that audience prior to the release, so that it's already built in. You've got those quote-unquote buyers ready. So
Yeah, and even just being able to look at your web traffic and where your web traffic is coming from can help you make a better decision about your distribution. If you're wildly popular around the world, or that might change your mind about how you're going to be making a release or who you're going to take an offer from.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, VHX helps filmmakers make money because the filmmakers are selling their films online. But how do you see customers purchasing the content? Do you have any kind of examples of content bundling that filmmakers are doing to increase their income?
Oh, totally. Yeah, a lot of our releases sell physical goods along with, and they usually bundle it with a digital copy. And we do that through a partnership we have with Shopify, where you can set up a store with Shopify and then sell a DVD plus the digital goods. Or some people, we've seen have people sell posters or limited edition box sets. And it's really fantastic because you get the instant gratification of a digital copy you can watch right away. But then you're going to be able to receive like the beautifully designed Blu-ray in the mail in a week, or however long it takes to ship these kinds of things these days.
Great. So what do filmmakers need to have in place to make this technology work for them?
I mean, the beauty of it is really almost nothing. Your movie should have a name.
Do they have to have their own website up? And
not even necessarily, because when you sign up for VHX, you kind of can pick a subdomain. So you could say, Jamie's movie, Laura's movie.vhx.tv, and we host it on the subdomain.
Okay.
And so you could even you don't even need to have a name, because you could change the name. And then typically what I've done with some friends of mine who have films, that I've worked with them, and they're like, oh, the movie's not going to be coming out until 2014, 2015. I'm like, you should still set up the site today. You should buy the domain name today and really make sure that it's the top hit in Google, and that you're really like controlling the brand and the experience around how people see your films. It's like a major brand touch point for you. And so, as soon priority is kind of getting some kind of art together, and then you put up a poster on the site and then a mailing list sign up, and you can let that kind of marinate even while you're just working on the project. And whenever you do, like, maybe raise money on Kickstarter, or you're promoting things on Twitter or to your friends, they'll have a resource that they can go to. And then the site just grows in usefulness throughout that process, because you can be sending out press screeners when you're in that stage, and you can be offering pre-orders when you're getting ready, like closer to release, and then you start selling the movie directly to fans. And then even after that, you can start releasing additional content and maybe bundling content together. Like maybe you're working on your second movie and you want to offer both movies for, half off, right? You buy a bundle of both movies for $8 instead of just one movie for $5 each. And so it really becomes useful as your own resource and your own destination throughout the process.
Those are great ideas, yeah. So how can a filmmaker get started working with VHX?
They can go to VHX.tv and sign up today, and it will throw you into the admin. We've kind of like been quietly launching the product, and then get started kind of designing a site and setting something up. And there's a feedback button in the top right that sends an email to some of the talent, to me and the rest of the talented staff here. And we're always super, super happy to answer questions and help people be more successful and really get their content out there. So old content, new content, rights restricted, you're a distributor, you're a sales agent, you're a talent agency, you're an individual filmmaker, you're a backyard wrestler. It really doesn't matter. If you've got a video that you want to show to the world and you don't want to just throw it up on YouTube with a bunch of related videos, VHX is the way to do it.
Great. So VHX is really on a fast track. I mean, you co-founded this company with Casey Pugh, and in less than a year after launch, VHX had grown from 2 people in a comedy special into an 8-person team with a solid software platform and just dozens of great releases. How did that happen?
Oh, I'd love to say it's because we're total geniuses.
Yes, that's what it is.
But I mean, it's a combination. It was the right idea at the right time in a lot of ways, and we saw that opportunity even when Louis C.K. launched his comedy special. I mean, it's strange to think that was really only 2 years ago, or even less. That was like a wake up moment for us, because Casey and I had been building all this technology. We've been working together on Star Wars Uncut. And Casey was an early employee at Vimeo, and he had written the Vimeo player, and so he had written kind of our own proprietary player technology. And I had written a lot of stuff around sort of publishing lots of small sites and aggregating data together and collecting data and information and studying like what's going on. And we were able to combine those and make a platform. And even right from the get-go, our first big release was Aziz Ansari's comedy special, selling that direct to fans. And it sold incredibly well, and it was just a simple model of, $5, you get the movie, here's a video file, you can watch it right away, you can do whatever you want with it. And it was so simple and so honest and authentic, and it really was a thought process, I think, of what do fans want, like how do we put fans first, and how do you connect artists and fans and keep them close together, and it's all kind of a natural evolution right out of that. And I think that really it has less to do with our background as software developers and our experiences with, my work with Know Your Meme and what we did with Star Wars Uncut and what Casey's done with Vimeo and with Foxy, and more to do with we're quick to market and build a great product around this thing that people clearly wanted to do. And I mean, with the growth of social media, we're really just riding on top of that wave. Like, people are building their audiences and building their own marketing power. Like, the cast and crew of a film have more Twitter followers than the studio,
Mm-hmm.
And the fans are listening to them and are very eager to know where their money goes. And I think the success of Kickstarter over the last 3 years really shows that people who hear a good message, who hear a great story, are very happy to open their wallets and support it. And this is kind of the environment that VHX was birthed out of, and so it's no surprise at all to me how much success we've seen so far in terms of how much demand, and sort of really it's just been a problem of trying to keep up with the demand and keep up with like the feature requests that come in, and we can't launch stuff fast enough. There's so many more things that we want to be doing. I think the big problem now is just like finding an extra 6 to 8 hours a day to work.
Just eliminate sleep entirely. And the platform is continuing to grow, right? You're still continuing to receive funding from investors to make that happen. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're very, very, very honored to have raised our Series A recently from Union Square Ventures, and the William Morris Agency participated, as well as kind of some of our initial investors from last year, like Mirror Ventures and Chris Sacca, Alexis Ohanian, really incredibly talented group of people. It is super humbling to think about that these people have put their confidence and their faith in us and in this vision, and we work very hard every day to try to live up to that.
I mean, it just seems like it's such a needed resource. Last question. What's next for VHX and Jamie Wilkinson?
Oh, man. Well, I have to figure out how to eliminate sleep. We have to survive the winter here in New York. It's been particularly crazy. But we just kind of expanded our office, and we've brought on a lot of really great people. And we have some big plans, especially on the kind of consumer side of the platform, where we think there's still a lot of innovation that can happen, not just with sort of powering each individual filmmaker's site, but sort of how we can let those people connect together, like how we can let, Indie Game the Movie and all the other filmmakers that they've brought into the platform, how can they sort of bundle their titles together, sell them together, recommend each other to their customers, as well as how can we let customers do that, and sort of how can we enable better methods for not just buying content and watching content, but for actually sharing the content. Because one thing I really miss is going over to my friend's house and seeing their DVD collection and borrowing one of their DVDs, and taking it home and watching it and then kind of rinsing and repeating. One of the joys of ownership is the ability to share it. And word of mouth, as every marketer will tell you, is kind of the most powerful driver. It's the thing that everybody is always trying to capitalize on. But the way the entertainment industry has reacted to the advent of super sharing culture and the internet has been to try to lock things down and to try to charge more money for all of it, rather than sort of saying, well, when you buy a copy of a movie, why can't all my friends just watch it for free? Because and there's a lot of innovation that can happen with the way we think about sharing in particular.
Mm-hmm. And really, once you see a film and you love it, you want your own copy anyway.
Exactly, and I think that there's a lot of other value that you can offer besides, of like the deluxe edition and bonus material, or maybe you're paying for it so that you're buying the next movie. Maybe you're pre-buying the next movie that I'm going to make, and you're investing in me as an artist. And it's really unfortunate to me how the big studios are really tied to these old metaphors of rentals and temporary relationships, and the fact that they separate the pricing of HD and SD. They think it's okay to watch things in SD. There's not a lot of respect for the art, and there's not a lot of respect for the fan. And as everybody who has been on the internet for any period of time knows, it's really all about your fans on the internet, and you have to kind of do what is best for them, not what is best for your wallet.
Yeah, there's a lot of old school, antiquated ideas still going on around there, but everything is interesting.
Yeah, and we'll have, and I think that we just want to be part of this this sea change that's happening, where, the financing of films is being disrupted, and the production is being so heavily disrupted by the advent of cheap cameras, and more of the audience is online and connecting directly with the artist, that the missing piece was just, how do I collect cash and have a really cool streaming player and have a really cool looking website? And we're going to solve that problem. We are solving that problem.
Great. So lots of big things on the horizon for VHX. Jamie, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being here. It's been very enlightening.
Laura, it's my pleasure.